Hello again, quick little video here. I had received some comments about some bows, poundages, and I guess overall questions about what was going on. I didn't realize the archery community was that picky about knowing about specifics about things. I guess that's my fault. I should have been more clear on what I'm doing, what I'm using. So just making a quick video to clear everything up about what I'm doing, the poundage of my bow, my draw length, the arrows I'm using, everything like that. So I got two of my bows here. One is a Montana, it's the bamboo one, and the other one is from Korea. It's just from Daylight, the Monarch. So they're both 55 pounds, if you can see that. The Montana is, now this one might be hard to see because it's golden. I don't know if you can see that. It's 55. Difference is though, this is 55 at 28. I think the Korean standard is 31. So that one's not going to have as high of a draw weight at my draw length, which is right almost at 32. Now that gets me to the arrow. So by archery standards, you know, most archery standards, your arrow length is from the valley of the nock here, where the string will sit, to the insert here. You're not counting the tip, because when I draw, that tip is sitting out. It's sitting out right about here, on kind of like Howard Hill used to shoot. He said he would pull till he felt his broadhead tip touch his knuckle, then drop it off just a little bit, and that was his draw length, which I don't know what his draw length was, but that's by the by. These are Easton Legacy. I think that's 9.3 GPI, grains per inch, 400 spine. I don't have a measure for this, but this is 150 grain, just a field tip, the screw in insert. So I think overall the arrow, and I can do that later. Somebody wants to know, for some reason, I can weigh the whole arrow. I think I did weigh it once on a scale, and it was like 450, I think. I can't remember, but let's get the draw length here. So valley of the nock, to right before the insert, you're looking at just over 32. So right about there is 32, and that's right about to where I draw to. Of course, you don't want to draw too far back. And I do have different broadheads that are 150 grain. They're the same weight, but because of the distance they stick out, they have a different flight. So this is a practice tip, a field tip. And the other one, yeah, I used to practice with too, but it would be served better for more hunting, things like that. But yeah, this is just a standard Easton. I love Easton arrows. One thing I found about Easton is they're really, really consistent with their arrows. When you get a batch of Easton arrows, pretty much all weigh the same. I mean, there's some deviation here and there, but it's very minute. But Easton is a very good company. So let's get to the bows here. On one of my videos, again, this is on me, I used that old scale at the club, it has a marker for measurement, and then the weight you push down. But that thing is ancient, and I didn't really trust it. And once the questions came in, I kind of thought, like, you know what, yeah, let's do this the right way. So I do have a scale for weighing things like bows. You can also use it for game and stuff like that, but I'll do the Korean bow first. So it's just your typical, I think it's HS4, Last Chance Archery. The units are just in pounds and kilograms. So as most of you know, the Korean draw is going to be on the other side of the bow with the thumb, much like most of the Asiatic and Eastern European draws. So we're going to get the arrow set up here in the nock. We're going to see what this thing is at, where I draw it at, with how I hold the bow. So let's turn her on. We are set. Okay. Let's see here. We are set on pounds. It is at 0 pounds right now. So let's draw this thing back to where I draw it to. Okay. Let's see what that gives us. Nope, didn't give us a reading. Hold on. Let's do that again. Let me turn it on. Oh, kilograms. Here we go. Unit. Why is this thing not working? All right, hold on. Pounds. Come on. Keep getting errors. Okay. 62.4 pounds at, and if you could see it there, I was drawing right about to right here. So I was right at 32 inches, give or take a millimeter or two. Now that's not the full draw of that bow. That bow will draw, I think max draw is 33, 34. I just don't draw back that far. I like it to sit right here where my anchor point is, where I shoot Korean style. It's kind of, my knuckle here kind of sits at a certain spot, and then I release. The longbow, that's more what I'm used to. Oh, let's get this going. Get my finger glove on. I have been practicing with that tab. I'm actually starting to really like it. I'm just not that good at it yet. You want to see some really cool videos? I think Clay Hayes probably has the best videos on YouTube right now. I mean, he's really got a lot of stuff out there, and he shoots the tab. It does gap shooting, which I'm really trying to learn. So that's pretty cool. So let's zero this thing out. Zero, not kilograms, we're gonna do pounds. Okay, so draw this longbow back to where I draw to. All right. Another error. What am I doing wrong here? Let's try that again. I think these things are finicky. Okay. It's not reading it. That's the last one. Let me reset this. I think I had the let off engaged. Don't want to do that with a longbow. All right, that bow actually, that's more than I said it was. That is drawing at 68.4 at my draw length. I thought it was 63. See, that's what I'm talking about, that old scale at the club. Another question I had was holding it. I guess someone thought this was a 40 pound, or I can't remember, 35 or 40 pound bow. They said you'd be shaking too much with 60 pounds. Well, that's almost 70. The key is, I don't draw this bow. Let me get this way to show you. I don't draw this bow like this. That I feel that right here and in my bicep. If you watch, I've mentioned him before, Joe Gibbs. He's an English longbowman. Watch his form. Now, I don't think you have to have the step forward, leaning in form. That's not until you get up past 100 pounds. He's doing a particular lower back engagement, but the upper principles of his muscular structure is the same. It's just with a poundage lower, like 50 to 70, I kind of have an open stance. But what I still do, if you'll notice when I shoot, I start high and I kind of push down. So you're kind of splitting the difference. It's as much here as it is this muscle right here, and engaging your back muscles, kind of like you're cracking a walnut in between your shoulder blades. So it really has not a whole lot to do with arm strength. I mean, yeah, it does matter, but it's really about engaging your back muscles. So how I draw, like I said before, you know, I'm not gripping it, I'm really pushing it. And I think you'll see on one of my videos, my hand's open when it comes out, and then I lay my fingers down. So a full draw would look like this, and you can hold, if you get locked in with bone-on-bone alignment, you can hold it for a while. I can't hold it all day, there's no way, but you can hold it and get a good shot. And I'll show you 3-finger, like I said, I use a medium hook. I don't get too deep in there, which is one of the reasons why I kind of want to start getting good with that finger tab, because you can really get a shallow to medium hook with a really smooth release to come right down. So we're gonna push, pull back to my anchor point, hold, and we got Fred right there, right in the middle of the chest. Not far, of course. I'm just making a demonstration about, you know, draw length, not shooting. But anyway, penetrate pretty good. But so yeah, I didn't know this bow actually is heavier than I thought it was. It says 55, but that's at 28. So the bamboo really flings this thing. It shoots really fast. I don't have a chronograph. I went to my local archery store. They had one there, and I tested it. Now this has to do with the design of the bows, which didn't make much sense to me. The Korean bow, as you saw, did not have as high of a draw weight as the longbow did, but that Korean bow shoots a little bit faster. And I think the Sias at the end and just that recurve technology of where the bow comes to rest, it wants to go farther. This is a reflex deflex, so it has a hint of recurved, very, very slight hint. But this bow, the last I checked, I think this bow shot 185 feet per second. The Korean bow was shooting over 200. So I think that has to do with technology, because I was using the same arrows at the same draw length. I made sure I went to the same point, and also the thumb release. The thumb release will give you, you can watch video with Armin Hermer from Europe. He does really good videos, awesome information. I think he did a video on that showing how the thumb release, it actually gives you, it's not a whole lot. I think it might be maybe 15 feet per second, 20 feet per second, but you know, it is something. It's kind of like a primitive trigger, just releasing. You don't have the drag that you have. But anyway, yeah, so this is sitting at 68 pounds roughly. The other one was lower. So they're both 55-pound bows, but it has to do with what they're measured at. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Korean standard is 31 inches, not 28. Most archery standards in the Western world is you measure it at 28, and that's what they put on the bow for the weight. I think in Korea, and of course the Yumi, the Japanese Yumi, you draw it way back. I think it's like a 36 to 38 inch draw. I don't know what Yumis measure their weight at. It might be 31 like Korea, I'm not sure. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Just clearing everything up. I'll be sure to be more thorough with any videos going forward. Just to let everyone know what I'm using, what I'm doing, what the weight is, and you know, if I ever do get a chronograph, I can start doing some cool testing with different weighted arrows and arrowheads. But yeah, y'all have a good day, happy holidays, be safe.